Now, this woman and plenty of women that we have seen online, we cover these stories, and it's coming from a perspective of a brother who's been married 14 years, going on 15 years, was raised old school around some real men. To see some of the conversations that go on today is just very interesting. And that's why I still comment on it, right? But I want you to hear exactly what this young woman is going to say. But she's leaving out a big part of the story.
This is how I know that the is turning into us. So this been trying to get up with me for about a week, right? As you can see, fresh nails and feet. I'm like, I'm gonna put him to the test real quick. The man telling me everything he want to do to me. I'm like, oh, there you up. So I'm like, okay. I need my nails and feet done. Text back and say, me too.
See, what this young lady don't understand is that that's the monsters, not her in particular, but that's the monsters that they created. And let me explain to you what I mean by that's the monsters they created. You see, a lot of these young boys grew up around their mama. And we live in a time period where boys can be princesses too. We live in a time period that being real men is considered toxic. It's called toxic masculinity. Being men, you throw out a lot of psychological terms out here. I think the worst thing ever is when the mainstream people start taking psychological terms out of context and use it for anything they don't like you to say. So if you're trying to correct someone because you're trying to hold them accountable, you're a narcissist. It's just any little words they want to use. And it's like, okay, do you even know what that word means? You know what I'm saying? So the guys you have today was raised with their mama, not really with their father, right? We live in a time period where some biological women will big up, and support, the Sydney Stars of the world. And yes, I'm going to use Sydney Star because that's who's in the news right now. So you got these guys. You complain that they sassy. You complain that they be in women's business and all kind of things like that. So you talking about this guy say, well, he want his nails, his feet done too. Now, I wouldn't have responded that way to you. I get kind of what he was saying to you, but that wasn't the right response. But you can't complain about these guys today when they didn't let them experience some toxic masculinity. The toxic masculinity at the end of the day is what you really want. And now we know what a toxic person is. But being just a straight-laced man who's out here working hard, being a leader of his household, because, being a leader is considered toxic for some people. Not all, but for some people, that's considered being toxic. You leading your family. You making the hard decisions, right? So you complain about these guys. Now, what he should have said was, when you said that, well, I need my nails and feet done. And what he should have said back to that is like, oh, really? Okay. Well, I'm going to go for that. Oh, I go here and there. Okay, you made an appointment? No, I can make one. Okay, all right. And, well, shoot, let me know when you're ready, and I'll, let go on a date because I know you got to get your nails done. So, I don't want to interfere with that. So let me know when you're ready to go on, on the date. You're not going to pay for it? No, I'm not going to pay for that. Listen, I try to tell guys this. Especially guys who are definitely older. That is not a flex fooling with somebody broke. Or a broke woman is not nobody you need to fool with. If the moment you meet a woman and she say, give me some money, give me this, give me that, you can respond one of two ways. Say, number one, you're broke. I don't deal with broke women. Sorry, and walk off. Or you say, well, they asking you, well, give me some money, and then or whatever, and say, okay, well, is it a hotel room we about to go to or whatever? Because clearly you're selling yourself. Is that what we about to do? I'm trying to figure it out. I didn't know you was on the blade. I didn't know you was selling it. I just didn't know. So, but I was wrong to think you just a regular person. So now you're selling it. I really, right? Because that's all it is. If you can't afford to get your own nails and hair done, you can't afford your own bills, then I don't think a guy should mess with you. at certain ages, when do you feel embarrassed by that? You have no embarrassment of that. You good and grown, and you still asking, you reaching out your hand at some other man to buy something for you. I don't care what it is. It's broke mentality. And what I want to teach fellas is this: you need to be repulsed by a broke mentality. That is failure, because let's call it what it is. When you're a man and you're broke, and you ask them for some money, the first thing they'll say, you broke. They will throw it in your face. You're broke. They will say you have failed in life because you cannot provide a thing. Okay, cool. I accept that. In turn, if you can't afford luxuries, and I say it's a luxury, fake nails is a luxury. We're not talking about getting your nails that come out of your fingers done. We're talking about fake nails. If you can't afford a luxury, because it's a luxury, if you can't afford those luxuries on your own, because, okay, you pay for those nails, there's no guarantee that she's going to talk to you. And I always tell guys this: there's guys that don't have to pay a dime. They don't have to pay for nails. They don't have to pay Cash App or Apple Pay. They don't have to do anything. And they end up giving them money. So if they automatically approach you talking about give me some money, like I said, you should feel offended. And like, no, I don't do the tricking. You can go find somebody else with that. And if they all say, okay, and hang up and like, cool, thank you. Fellas, you got to have some standards for yourself. You're not going to find a decent woman with a handout. No, that's a woman who failed too. But the crazy part is that they will call you broke as a man, but yet they always got their handout. It's not a flex providing anything for someone that you have no investment with. This isn't your wife. This isn't, your children. This is some random you met, maybe you're interested in, but you definitely don't go out here and just open your wallet. I always tell men this: you need to really appreciate money. And what I mean by that is whatever you make per hour, calculate that. If you make $20 an hour, just let's go 20. A lot of times the nails will run somewhere around some $60, could run $80 or more. Some of them could run up to $100, depends on what they're doing to those nails, right? So if the nails is $100, you mean 5 whole hours of your work at your job. So getting her nails done was worth 5 hours to you? We're not even talking about the pedicure, but just the nails. 5 hours of your life was literally handed to them, to somebody you have no investment with. Once again, this isn't your wife. This is not even your long-term girlfriend that you're thinking about you want to marry. We're talking about somebody you just met. And the moment you met, hand me something. You should be repulsed by that. Have some self-esteem and self-respect for yourself as a man, period. You know the perfect woman? The woman that will give you just as much as you give her. So you don't mind doing something for her because hey, okay, you get her nails done, cool. She'll buy you a bottle of cologne. She needs some money on something, shoot, she give you some money on something. You treat her out, she'll turn around and say, I'm gonna treat you out. It's like it's because she don't need your money for anything. She feel that's embarrassing to go ask some man to get her nails done, her hair done, or whatever. Like she can't take care of herself. She grown. But I get what she's saying about some of these guys today, but at the same time, that always asking a man for some money, yeah. I'm a firm believer. Don't give him a dime. I'm a firm believer of that. But some of these guys today, things have came in reverse. Because see, at one point in time, the guys who were the tricks were looked down upon, just as much as the drug addict was looked down upon. And the drug dealer was looked at as the top guy, and the player who had a bunch of women, and didn't have to give up nothing to him, was looked at as the top guy. Now everything is flipped upside down, where the trick is a good thing, and the drug addict is a good thing. Like I said, this country has become capital weird. I can't say no more than that. Do y'all agree with me on that? Let me know. Let me know exactly how you feel about that, because ain't no man should be out there giving no money to no woman you just met.